broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What are you talking about? This is the remix.
Oh my gosh. When did this come out?
Man, 2006, 2005? No.
Yeah.
No, 2000. Yeah, 2000.
Am I wrong?
Like 2.
2002?
That's my guess. 2002.
Yeah, probably have to look at that. This song went super hard.
Welcome to
It went super hard. For real. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, you are in the right place. It is none other than the one and only rap game after show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. I am your host, Lem Gonsalves. I'm super, super excited because we're in our second episode.
Oh yeah.
And we want to thank you for tuning in. Y'all, y'all watched us. Y'all tweeted about us, and we're super excited. Of course, I'm not here by myself. I got my boy, my partner in crime, Nino Llanera.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Nino. You can catch me at Nino Llanera on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Yeah. And on the flip side over there, looking like he's about to rob somebody's house.
No problem.
Mr. Joshua Jackson, what's up, man?
Yes, sir. Mr. Lem Gonsalves, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I'm great.
Nice. My name is Joshua Johnson. You can catch me on social media at JJ the Talented.
Yeah. And of course, on the far end, none other than Mr. Jimmy Vibert. What's up, boy?
Whoa. Hey, Cass, what's popping? All right, it's down for another week of the rap show. It's your boy Jimmy V. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Be Your Own Dad. Make sure you hit us up. Continue the conversation. Let's get it popping.
Yeah,
man.
let's get it super popping. So, of course, I just want to kind of get into this guest because we do have a guest, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, we got it. Straight out the 508 crib.
It's going down for real. Like, ladies and gentlemen, you want to make sure you keep tuning in because it's going to get really wild and crazy. We try to have every single guest that we can on this after show because it's just a reward to you as the fans. So you kind of see what goes on behind the scenes and know what's popping. So none other, our first guest of this season of the rap game is none other. What'd you say from the 508?
From the 508
Rocktown in the house. Y'all give it up for my boy, Mr. Papa Luis. Papa Luis, what's up, baby?
What's popping, yo?
What up, dog?
Hey, man. We out here.
What's up, man? So,
oh, it's just the mic.
Yeah. We can see you.
Oh yeah.
We can see you. The fans can see you.
Back home and stuff.
Yeah. We got you. No delay. It's all popping. It's all good. So, man, we want to thank you for putting us on the show, being our guest tonight. I see you got the cornrows is crispy. I see you.
Man, we at the Street Rap Foreign Affairs Studios.
Nice. That's what's up. Now tell us a little bit about where you at. Is this where Poopy gets down when he's rapping? Is this where he records his music? What goes down over there?
Oh, I mean, your man's know the city's big, man. There's a bunch of people working out, you know what I'm saying, doing the music stuff. Poopy got his spot where he works his magic. But as soon as we, finished the show, I came back and everything that I learned from T.I., from Usher, from Jermaine Dupri especially, I just came and just shared that with them. You know what I'm saying? Jermaine kicked free game to me. I wasn't really in the music business before that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I was just a manager, like, the business sense. Because I got businesses out here in Brockton.
Word.
You know what I mean? But as soon as I learned a lot of stuff about the music, you know what I mean? Like some of the ins and outs and stuff that really go on and things they should be concentrating their money and their time on, how important social media is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I came back and this is what I'm kicking it with them, with the people I believe in, the people I see and working hard, like, the team I'm with right now.
Word.
And I'm making sure that, like I was just telling my man, Periscope is popping. I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah,
man. We definitely know about the Periscope. Oh yeah.
The scope, man.
Like a lot of you got to make your life public.
Yeah.
Tweet. I see some people taking pictures of their food and all that, but I told them it's kind of that extent and more. When you're in the studio, let your fans see that.
Yeah.
Right.
They want to connect with you.
Yeah, they want to connect. They want to relate. You know what I mean? So give them a part of your life on the daily.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And show them the struggle too. It's not just for your fans, but I think for there's people who have like artists that they look up to, and the artists make it look so easy that they forget the struggle, they forget the work.
Word.
That's right, man.
So and a lot of these kids forget to put in work, forget to be an intern, forget to put in the free time and look out for their DJs and all that. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I come back and do to make sure like things are being done the right way. It's not just about going to the studio, making a hit, and hoping somebody hears it. Like, no, man, get off the couch and put it in somebody's hand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what's up.
So it looks like just as freely as you receive that information, you're turning around now and giving that information out, just and kind of giving back to the people who are working hard out there in Brockton.
Oh no, that's for everybody. I mean, after the show, everybody and their mom is in my DMs. Not like that.
It's going down in the DMs.
But you're not being stingy with the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You're imparting that knowledge. I say,
but, like, no, a lot of parents, a lot of kids are like, I want you to be my manager. I don't want to manage nobody.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give you the information like if I was your manager. Like, see everybody. There's no hate in my blood. I want to see everybody succeed.
Right.
Yeah,
I would love to say I was a part of that. Like, you was going this way, and the grades told me it's better to go that way, and things might work out for you better. You know what I mean? It's easier if you go that way.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I'm seeing some artists working hard, but they're actually going in reverse. You know what I'm saying? Like, they see some of these artists smoking and drinking, but they don't see the artists going to the gym. They don't know that
They
some
don't.
of these
There
artists
we go.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And eating healthy and exercising. Like, it's hard for you to go and perform 5-6 songs on stage. They make it look easy, but it's not.
Right.
that's all part of it. Then it's not just going in and recording. You gotta you gotta eat right. You gotta exercise right. You gotta make sure you get enough sleep. Get your energy up. Okay.
And then I'm just glad to hear that this show wasn't only beneficial for Poopy, but it's also helping you out too.
Man, listen. Like I said, man, I had a few businesses that I'm involved in. I never really thought about music. I mean, I went to school for communications.
Right.
But after I opened up my store, I kind of just put that dream on hold a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then after doing this, I ain't leaving.
Right.
Man, I'm here forever. Like, they ain't getting rid of me. Like, I told Jermaine to his face, man. Like, we was hanging out. We was at he brought me to my first strip club. We went to Magic City.
It goes down at Magic.
For Rocco's birthday, and I told him, like, yo, bro, no disrespect, but I'm gonna be bigger than you.
Hey.
Oh, dang.
Nah, but on the real, you have to have that confidence, though. You feel me?
Yeah.
You have
exactly.
to.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
Luis.
that mean he gave me daps. I thought he was gonna look at me and be like, what you say to me?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You got to definitely, like you were saying, I think anybody that is in the industry that's grounded like someone like he is and has the what he's done in success and all of that going on, you definitely want to get to the next level. It's kind of like when you're a father and you have a child and your father's amazing, you want your child to do better than you do. And it's just kind of like on some mentorship.
Exactly. You got it right on point, because honestly, me managing Poopy, I honestly did that for my kids because my kids were a fan of Poopy.
Word.
Saying, like, I knew Poopy growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, his parents, his mom, my mom live in the same neighborhood.
Can you talk about that? I want to know a little bit. I know the fans want to kind of know, how did your relationship? I know you're his godfather, but how did that even come about? Like, how did that even come when you even got to the point where he started rapping and you kind of being involved with his career?
So he already had the career going from the jump, like, on his own. Like, he proved himself to everybody. His dad had a studio in the basement, and his dad would have like French and whoever come down to record in the studio. But Poopy was like, I think, like 5 or 6, and he was kicking it with the engineer. And one day he just went inside the booth and recorded, and the dad came downstairs and heard the song, and he was like, "Who's that?" And it was like Poopy, and he was like, "No, it's not." And he was like, "Yeah, it's him." You know what I mean? Like someone did a reference track or something for somebody else, and then Poopy just did it, and it sounded really good.
Oh wow!
So it's not like, you know, I heard some people saying like, oh, maybe dad wanted to be a rapper and he kind of forced his son to do it. Like, no, the son did it and was good and proved it to his father that he can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because like, you know, dad had a studio, but you know, at the time he was young to be, you know, for the dad to kind of be like saying, maybe this is what you want to do, or try it out. He did it on his own and proved to everybody in the room like that he has a talent to hear the words and mimic it and add swag to it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he was already doing his own thing with the song, the mixtapes, and all that. But they came to a point when I realized, like, on the business side, you know, he didn't have music on iTunes yet, and certain things weren't registered or copywritten and trademark. And I also told him I want him to make big money, you know, not just with the music, but with everything. Use that exposure and come out with a clothing line, or come out with
That's right.
athletic wear
Evolve
for the
it,
kids.
man.
Like, concentrate on the kids.
It's a
you know what I'm saying?
brand.
Like, I might be a cheap as hell person, but I'll spend crazy money on my kids like every other parent.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I told him, like, concentrate on that. You have kids that look up to you in school. You can capitalize on that. You know what I mean? Like, start now. I'm not saying you're gonna be a millionaire
Right.
now, but you can start now and wear your own clothes. Don't wear other people's clothing. You over here thinking this is cool and that's cool. You forgetting that you're cool.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
You can make cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Luis, tell us a little bit of how did the whole show came about? Were you all approached by Jermaine Dupri and his camp, you know, to do this show? How did that come about?
In all honesty, so as soon as I got onto it, the first thing I started doing, because we had crazy opportunities when that controversy happened. A bunch of people emailed us, like it made international headlines.
What controversy are you talking about?
You're speaking of the
YouTube video, right?
YouTube video, right?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
What did my man from Brat call it? The
Yeah.
So that happened, and a bunch of people hit us up, like, you know, we TMZ, Bill O'Reilly, everybody was doing stuff and contacting us, and you know, we just kind of mellowing out a little bit because the lawyers just saying, you know, just stay low key and deal with the social services, and then after that we'll contact everyone. But by the time I was, you know, we hitting everybody back, they're like, oh, that's old news. When he drops a new album or something, get back to us.
Right.
You know, even dude from Canada, Nadwar, is that his name? Nadwar, right? Nadwar. I don't know if you guys heard of him.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
know
sure,
that words. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got so same thing. They were just like, well, you know, with the things we wanted to ask have already been answered by somebody else, I guess. So whatever. Like, you're not relevant right now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I just was going through emails, hitting people up, and then a friend of mine who's out in LA right now, Gene Eli, he was telling me about different producers and directors, you know, from this area who live out there, you know, just networking, and they agreed on doing a documentary about Poopy. And then from there, I guess that production team sold the idea to another production team about doing a documentary about him and other child rappers. That's what they were saying, the life of a child rapper. Then from that, they sold it to another production company, I think, and the idea just became bigger and ended up being a show about child rappers and what it takes to be a child rapper, and you know what you guys see now, the 8-episode show, the rap game.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, then. So yeah.
One idea that
makes
just
sense.
you know, snowballed into
just evolved into something that was bigger. That's awesome. So now that, you know, you're getting this exposure from the show, I know we've talked personally, and you've been telling me some of the successes. You know, people, you know, wanting to be on your Instagram, following you on Instagram, Twitter's blowing up. You got DMs from all these people, you know, trying to get advice. What would you say going forward, as far as like Poopy is concerned, and what you're looking for the future for him?
What I'm looking for Poopy?
Yes.
Obviously, much success, you know what I'm saying, for him, for all the kids on the show. Honestly, like, the show is a competition.
Yes.
It's like a boot camp competition, man. It ain't for everybody. Even the rap game ain't for everybody. Touring, you know, it's not for everybody.
Right.
It looks fun on TV, but it's not. It's hard work.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, the kid deserves it. I mean, even now, you know, he was in the paper the other day, and I guess they didn't really like about what he said about Brockton's. You know, him saying the neighborhood's horrible, but
It's the truth, though.
that's
What
what a
you mean?
12-year-old sees.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
where he lives is not the greatest neighborhood. That's what he sees every day. People have been murdered outside of his home, on his street, the next street over. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
actually, where he lives is a street away from my business.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Like, you know, your boy, he'll tell you this is. We had 15 murders last year.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a tough environment and change. We just need a change, man. So
Absolutely.
Matter of
It's
fact,
changed. The city's doing a good job. The police department's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Our mayor's been reelected. He's doing a great job also. So it's definitely changing. I mean, there's no words. It's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Right,
But
right.
you are seeing some change happen, is what you're saying.
Yeah, sometimes I think people are home safe with their kids, and the thermostat on 75, and they just had a good dinner, and they think that that's like that in everybody's world, and it's not. So then when we express it, or when he talks about it, they're like in shock. Oh my God, why would a 12-year-old be saying this or talking about this? I mean, it's kind of hard for you to talk about something you don't know.
Right.
yeah.
Think about your favorite rappers, right? You relate to them on their first album, but then like their third album, when they're talking about money and cigars and this and that, you kind of lose that connection because maybe you're not there financially. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's how I felt.
Right.
Like, everybody's first album, I love it. They're talking about the struggle and
Right.
Kanye West's first album compared to Graduation was different.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or T.I.'s album, or even Drake. You know what I mean?
No, everything you're saying that makes sense, and I think it's good that Poopy was able to use this as a platform to talk about his city, because like you said, he can only talk about what he knows. And as a 12-year-old, if this is what he knows and this is what he sees going on in his community and his city, you know, why wouldn't he talk about it and bring it to light? And so, I mean, I commend him for doing that, and actually even putting, you know, Brockton out there like that and showing some good, because of course his success is going to bring success to the city. How I look at it.
It's all about
That's
the
right,
progression,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about
Like
the
he says,
progression.
too, that's why, like, I'm working. You know what I'm saying? I'm making sure that he's doing as much as he can.
Yeah.
But it still might not be enough. That's why I'm networking with certain people. Like,
Right.
I want it so when Jermaine calls me and says, "Yo, is Poopy's track ready?" I can be like, "Yeah, and I got this for you."
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. And I'm not just working with one team. Like,
Yeah.
they show me love, I'm showing them love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm reaching out to anybody I see working. I'm making time to stop in their studio and saying, you know, this sounds cool, but I don't know if they'll play this on the radio. I don't know if this is commercial. I don't know if this is melodic. Maybe you should go with, you know, doing this sound.
Yeah.
So when I know what this person's gonna call me and ask me for, I can show them yours, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Luis, I want to thank you, man, for being on the show. We appreciate it.
No doubt.
Before we let you go, let the people know where they can find you on social media, where they can DM you. You know what I'm saying? To get that good
I
advice.
got Peach FaceTiming me like crazy. She's hitting me up right now.
Oh, is that right?
Peach's mom.
That's crazy.
Oh,
That's
okay,
crazy.
okay,
That's crazy.
okay.
So yeah, tell the fans where they can find you on social media, man.
It's Papa Louis 85, PAPALUIS 85. If you see me in the streets, don't be afraid to ask me for a picture. Don't be afraid to ask for some advice. And I mean, I was 8 weeks in the house with you know, Grammy Award-winning producers. You know what I'm saying? They shared a lot of information with you
Right.
that that I would love to share with y'all.
Absolutely.
Hit me up on
Right.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. It's PAPALUIS 85.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
And two, I know that I'm over here in Cali and you are over there in Mass, but definitely I'm gonna reach out to you over the gram, and if there's anything that I can do over here, you man, just let me know, man.
Oh, no doubt. You know how it's about who you know and networking and showing
That's
love
right, man.
and getting love back. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You call me at 4 in the morning. You know that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Like I said, thank you for having the show. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time, man.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. All right.
I love.
There it is.
You know what? He spoke some truth there when he was talking about finding out whether your song is commercial or melodic or whatnot. People tend to forget there's always this fine line between what people say selling out, you know, and when they hit that success rate. You know what I mean? And people are always like, no, he sounds different now. I don't want to mess with him, blah, blah, blah. It's not what I want. But it's hard because it's a business.
Right.
You know, in all aspects. You definitely want to keep your artistry, but you also got to, you know, take care of the consumers who are buying your stuff as well too.
Absolutely.
And what they want, what they like.
Absolutely.
You know, just like the whole the whole early 2000s pop culture situation where everything was like manufactured.
Yeah.
They were manufactured to a point. Then their second or third album, they were themselves, but they did it as a kind of like as a stepping stone, just like the show is to them.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like he progressed a lot. I'm hoping Poopy did as well too, from what we saw this episode.
Oh, yeah,
I know
for
we're
sure.
gonna get into it.
Right, right.
Oh,
Seems
yeah.
like Poopy's doing his thing, and like you said, I mean, nobody gets into the rap game to be broke.
No.
I mean, ultimately, the whole point is, you know, to make music and make money.
High hopes. Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So,
Reach for it.
and you know, when it comes down to it, people are gonna buy what they like and what other people are listening to and what's, you know, pop and melodic. I mean, the numbers are there for themselves. I mean, if you recognize that certain songs get a certain number of people to buy your album and download your single, and all that, you're gonna keep that same formula up to keep that same measure of success up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which is also too, it's so important to share your struggles, share the things that you've gone through. You know, as people, we're all guarded. You know, because we don't want to be vulnerable. But when you share your story, you could be going through something that I went through. So now you can learn from me and just keep on moving on there, which is exactly what they were speaking of.
Sure.
Too.
I like that he's doing that. I like that he's not selfish with the information that he got.
Exactly.
From JD and all these other guys, Columbo and Usher and T.I. I mean, he's going back to his town.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, sharing the knowledge with the up and comers there and saying, hey, look, here's what I learned from these greats, like he said.
Right.
Now let me give this to you guys so we can be better together, because it's all about, you know, Brockton, where he's from,
Right.
and helping you know, his fellow men and fellow rappers in the community and building up his community. That's what I like about that.
Absolutely.
So
No, I think it's all
much love
great.
to 'em.
It's all great, and I kind of want to get into this episode because there's some things that aren't too great about this episode.
Okay.
And
Let's
I
get
really
into
want to
it.
get into Super Peach because I was wondering when it was going to go down about this whole writing situation. Because, of course, they teased us on the first episode about her not writing and her sister kind of being her ghostwriter. And so it actually went into a challenge where they had to write on their own, or they were supposed to write on their own. And basically, you know, they met at the mall, there, Greenbrier Mall, and they basically took this train tour of Atlanta, and JD showed them where different people were from, and he showed them his old spot where he used to live growing up and all that kind of stuff in Atlanta. And the whole point was they had to write about their journey that day.
Right,
You know,
the
going
tour,
through Atlanta, the tour and all of that stuff going on. And that way would see who actually can write from that perspective.
Exactly. Tell me y'all were getting nostalgic when like he was talking about every place that he was at, talking about Crisscross.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
Like,
man,
those
yeah.
are
You know
like
what I mean? Like,
monumental
yeah.
locations.
right, and
like,
it's crazy. You know how many people JD worked with, but then when he lays it out there, you're like, oh yeah, that's right.
which is why I was highly disappointed in my man, who I'm a hold to a whole different standard just because we are from the same place. He was sleeping on the whole trip.
yeah,
He
yeah.
just didn't seem like he was into it. Which later on we saw exactly what ended up happening because of it. But he just needs to wake up and just, you know, live in the moment.
Well, I think a lot of it too, I mean, he's 12. Like, let's keep it all the way real. I'm not giving excuses. I mean, they're all there for a purpose. Like he was saying, you know, it was 8 weeks. He was like boot camp.
Right.
You know, they were there to put in work, and they were there to do what they were supposed to do with, you know, whatever was asked of them, and ultimately get this record deal. However, in a situation, it's like going on when you're in school, right? And you know you're in college and you're studying to be a doctor, let's say, for instance. And this is your passion. This is what you want to do. But there are times you're in class that you would rather be doing something else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But what would Poopy rather be doing than to be learning from Jermaine Dupri himself
course.
and getting this opportunity that he's got? Because he's got a great opportunity. Better, like a whole bunch of people like are wanting the same opportunity. And the thing is, when you're in that situation, and he's 12, he should be old enough to get it, that you can't just fall asleep. And because it comes across, and JD called it, he seemed totally uninterested.
Right.
That's
and,
right.
And you
That's
can't
right.
do that.
True.
You can't do that. And JD called him out on it.
But
And he said I was up late.
Yeah, and
Listen,
nobody else was tired. I didn't see anybody else.
I don't care
tired.
what I'm doing the night before. If I come into work late, I'm on my way. My car caught a flat tire or something. I'm not saying I was up late because that just shows you don't have the discipline to go to sleep on time in order to wake up the next day. So just he's got things. He's still young, but he's got things that he just has to work on.
Well, so if music is your passion, though, that should wake you up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When you work on your passion,
Sure.
that's going to wake you up. No matter what you've been doing, when it's about the music, it's time to wake up.
But here it is. JD said it, and I said this last week too. Once you get 20 million views and a couple subscribers,
You feel like
you feel like you
something.
made it. But once again, they haven't made the money from it, so they really haven't made it. You know,
Right.
It's not their career; it's a hobby at this point for right now.
Right.
So they want to turn their passion into a career. They got to work like JD says it.
Right.
But that's where it phases all these kids that I'm it. That's it. I don't need a label. I'm good. People know who I am.
Well, I did just want to mention this whole idea with the YouTube world. If they get a certain amount of clicks, they get paid a certain amount. So they are still getting paid from their
Not
channel.
like they would be
but
from a
not
record deal.
like-
It's not
exactly.
the same. It's
Yeah,
not the
they
same.
don't have that same exposure that they can get from having national exposure.
Yeah, it's not the same. However, and just to go back to the situation, and I think all of them probably will if they haven't had. They're going to have moments where they're not appreciative of what's going on. I think it was Lyric. What was it? Lyric. Lyric was basically in that situation last episode when they were like, "Oh, you need to freestyle." I was like, "I kind of really don't do that."
Yeah.
It wasn't even an attempt. You know what I mean? It's like at least do something so we can see that you're trying. But she was just like, "Yeah, I don't really do that, so I'm just not going to."
Right.
So to me, that was a moment that she had where she was acting like a kid.
Same thing with my girl Miss Mulatto.
I feel it was.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no,
Yeah.
same thing with my girl Miss Mulatto. She didn't want to be doing what she was doing because she didn't really understand why she was doing it. To learn from from starting from the bottom, now I'm here type situation.
Right.
So
I feel like Mulatto and Poopy, I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't something they couldn't do. Like with Lyric, she probably can't freestyle, so why even fake it? But Mulatto didn't have to have the attitude that she had, and Poopy could have woken up and acted like he was interested.
Right. Sure.
So I put Poopy and Mulatto in a different camp than Lyric. Lyric just, as we are going to talk about, she just don't have that freestyle skill, most likely.
Well, you did see though when they did get back, and he, because remember the managers aren't there; kids are by themselves.
Yeah.
So, and I think he does that purposely because he wants to see how they act without, the parent figure or the parental figure there. And you saw Luis, who we just talked to. You saw when he got back, he's like, "Oh, that ain't happening again."
Right.
That's right.
He was
Exactly.
real quick to be like, "Yeah, that ain't happening again. Nah, we gonna be serious about this." And even talked to him afterwards, and and told him like, "Look, you gotta. This is a situation where you have to respect where you're at."
Right.
And he got adult on him and let him know like you have to put in the work. You got nothing's going to be given to you. This is something that you have to be serious about. And I'm sure Poopy probably didn't really care to hear about that right at that moment, but I think when we see in the next episode, I don't think we're going to see that from him again.
no, I don't think so either.
I think he's going to, he learned the lesson.
At the same time, I could see, just in my opinion, that it seems like Poopy does realize that he's got a lot of pressure on him, and he has a certain weight on him.
Oh, yeah.
Being where he's from in Brockton, being
Yeah.
in the situation that he's in, and trying to get his family out of the situation that they're in. I feel like he's kind of experienced some things that he probably shouldn't have to as a 12-year-old, and probably a lot of other 12-year-olds wouldn't. But I looking at him and watching how he interacts and how he moves and how he talks, he seems like he has a kind of weight on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And at times, not to go just full out on him and just blast him, but I do have some empathy for him because of his situation, and it seems like he can feel the weight of that. At times, and he has a certain maturity about him too. At 12, it's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but like he understands things.
The moment when they took a walk in the woods and he was just saying, he's like, "I'm just tired. I just want to chill right now."
Yeah.
Because it's true. We see the craziness from when somebody's a kid star, to growing up in the public eye, and the pressures of it all, and then when they become an adult, it sometimes like 80% of the time it tends to go bad. You know what I mean? There's only a small percentage of kid stars who survive almost kind of like that fate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it's hard. I would be nervous to have a kid who wants to do something, within this industry. I would,
At that age.
Yeah, I would
Absolutely.
constantly be talking to them.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, listen, we're gonna take this real slow, and we need you to be like this when you get older. You know what I mean?
I think you did make a good point because I do agree with that. That it does seem like he has a weight, on his shoulders. Like he's like, I got to do this, and he even said it. The first episode, he's like, this is for Brockton. And he was talking about Brockton, and he was talking about how he wants to get his family out of there.
Right,
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Out of the situation that they're in. He wants to make it a better life for his family. So here you got a 12-year-old young man wanting to do good by his family.
Right.
That's going to be pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
Which I can actually relate. My family was in Brockton up until I was about Poopy's age, and at that time I didn't understand why we were moving out, but my mom did. So in a sense, Poopy has that knowledge that my mom did at the time, and I had absolutely no idea. So then I just feel like he's a 12-year-old kinda and a 20-year-old.
He's a 12-year-old old man.
Wide.
He's a
Yeah,
12-year-old old man. So getting back to, like I said, I wanted to talk about Super Peach and the situation. So like we said, in the first episode, there was some talks about her not writing, so there was touching on it, and of course you knew that it was going to come to a pinnacle. I thought this was early to come to a pinnacle.
Right.
I thought it was going to be maybe
Like
later
episode
on
3 or
down.
4?
Yeah. But nah, it came out, and I think because of the exercise. The exercise was for them to write, and everyone's riding on the bus, and it gets back, and then of course she goes and she talks to her sister, and her sister kind of has that.
Shout
thing
out to
where,
her
like,
sister, by the way, Precious Peach.
Oh,
Shout out
really?
to
Yeah.
Sister Peach.
Sister Peach.
If we can get her as a guest, let's
She
get on that.
I love peaches.
a little peach cobbler, right? All right.
No, she's got it. She's got it together. She got it together.
All right, back to.
But yeah, she goes and she talks to her sister, and she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna, put my little flavor on it, and I'm gonna take what you got, and I'm sure that's something that what they do. And just to say this, and Jermaine Dupri did say this, and it does make sense. He's like, if you ghostwrite for somebody else, or you're a rapper, you don't write your own lyrics. That's not a bad thing, because there's tons of rappers that do that. There's tons of rappers that have ghostwriters and that help in writing. A lot of the big names do it.
Right.
I mean, this is something that's just part of the industry.
Why did they make it such a big deal?
Right. Well, I think they made it a big deal because, number one, I think everybody else, being that they're a child, is doing their own lyrics for the most part.
Right.
And
It's gotta be
basically,
fair.
right.
Yeah.
And it's making it on
gotta
a
be
level
fair.
playing field. So it's almost like, that's why they kept saying cheating. They used the word cheating. It's not like what she's doing is like, oh, the music industry is not going to like
Yeah,
this.
because a lot of
Right.
people are doing that.
Exactly.
In the
That's what I'm
some
saying.
of the big names that we know about.
I just said that.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
I'm
you said
saying is, for what's going on here in this exercise, especially this particular episode, it was like, you need to write for yourself.
Right.
Yes.
And the fact that she didn't write herself and use that, her advice, it's almost like having all the answers to the test. It's like everybody's taking the test, but you got all the answers. Like,
Right.
that's not right.
It's forever a taboo thing. Also, like like in the rap industry, if you don't write your own lyrics, you're not.
You don't have credibility.
Yeah, you don't have credibility. Exactly.
Sure.
So it's tough, and people will forever know that other people have ghostwriters or whatnot.
Right.
And I love how I love,
We know.
I love how JD just went out there and said it. It's like I wrote Bow Wow stuff, Chris Cross's stuff,
And he said that straight up.
Straight
and
up.
It's the absolute truth, though.
Right.
So,
But
Is there a
it
difference?
shouldn't be hidden. You know what I mean?
But is there a difference between now? Okay, let's say I write a song, right? Like Super Peach does, right? And then she gives it to her. I give it to you, and you just look at it and say, okay, maybe switch this around just a little bit, kind of almost like a critique and suggestions. Now, is that ghostwriting, or is there a difference between that and actually having someone else write it for you or put most of the work in? Because what if she just puts a little bit of maybe change that around? Is that okay?
Again, there's no problem with anything that she did in normal situations.
But in the competition, is that still too much?
And the competition, the way I explained it, and that's why I think it became a big deal.
should have been
because
their own.
his whole thing is it was supposed to be.
Just
I want to see
straight
how you guys write
by
and
yourself.
And you realize, and he said it. Why? The reason why he said it, he said, "Look, if you're not writing at all, and I'm thinking you're writing,
Right.
He's like, when you let's say you win this competition, and I give you this deal, I'm expecting that you can write. So I'm gonna go in there and be like, all right, bust this out. Here's the beat. Let's go. And you're like, I
need to give this to
I need to give this to my. You're like, wait a second.
I gotta use the bathroom.
You weren't,
quick.
you know what I mean? So that's his thing as a producer. He's like, yo, that's not fair because I need to know where you're at. Now, if you can just rap and you're not good at writing, then cool. I know how to work with you.
Right.
But the bottom line is this was a test to see where you were in your
Personally.
writing. Exactly. And that's where I think it became a big deal.
And there's people like that. There are people who write, who can't perform, who can't rap, who don't have the charisma to be a star. And there's some stars who just can't put the lyrics together, but they have the flow, they have the cadence, and they have the personality to do so.
It's funny too because
know?
if you look at on the flip side in the singing industry, when people are singers, there's a lot of people that don't write their own
Oh,
music.
yeah. Oh,
There's tons and tons of people that don't write a song, but they can blow and they got the stage
Right.
presence and they're really good at singing and they have just people write for them.
Right.
And that's just and you don't
that's
see
acceptable.
It, and that's acceptable. But in the rap game, like you
Rap game,
said,
like Nino said.
It's a double standard.
It's
y'all.
predicated. It's predicated on the fact that
Exactly.
if you're a rapper, you probably should be writing your own raps.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just because of what it is. Because of what it is. And I think it's been going on forever.
Forever.
Forever like that. But going back to, again, they were upset because, they felt like she was cheating. But I also think, too, there's a little bit of jealousy because remember last week she was number 1.
Right.
She came out there guns blazing. And so this is a competition at the end of the day. Yes, these are kids, we as fans, I'll speak for myself, but I think you guys agree, we want them all to be successful. It's not like we want just, one winner and the rest of them go home.
Oh, no.
I think we want them all to be successful. And I think the fans are the same situation. But in this type of situation, because it is a reality show and because it is a competition, people should play fair.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Did you guys notice? I felt like there was some. It's a reality show, but I felt like there was some creativity in the editing. Because when Peach came out of the booth the first time, it seemed like she sat down, put like one headphone in, and some of the other kids were like talking about it. Oh, like they kicked her out because she wasn't writing her own stuff. Like right in front of her, and it seemed like they had just taken audio from maybe another scene, put it.
It was cuts.
It was cuts because Peach didn't even respond to what they were saying. It just seemed like major cuts in the editing.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure there was cuts. I don't know if I was tripping, but I thought I saw Mulatto's hair straight at one point and then curly. I know doing pickup shots and stuff, but I thought it was like on the same day, and I don't know.
Well, anyways, come on, guys. We know this industry.
It's the industry.
We know how it is with editing. We've talked to enough, people that have been on reality shows, and they take liberties with editing and things of that to create a story. We know that. Right. I mean, I think I agree with you. I think there were some colorful things with editing. However,
let's get into this hit list, please.
Yeah, let's do that. Right before that, though, I just want to just go down the list of my dark horse that I was mentioning last time.
Okay.
She's doing good.
Yeah.
She did well in the booth.
But who was your dark horse?
Lyric.
Young Lyric.
Okay, because I don't even remember what I said last time.
Yeah.
But this week I have Lyric as my dark horse too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matter of fact, in my ranking, she's number 2.
Don't sleep.
Well, that's actually just like JD's ranking.
Yeah.
Don't sleep. Don't sleep on her.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So going to the hit list, we talked about Poopy already.
Did you guys agree with the hit list, or did you disagree?
I agree with the first 2, and in the next 3, I agree 1 and 2. The next 3 I had switched a little bit. So Mulatto and Lyric 1 and 2. I'm good with that. How about you guys?
This was my hit list. Was their hit list?
Oh, what?
Right.
It was to a T.
I would put that on the same.
Yeah,
I
to
would
the
put that
T.
on the same. Only thing I would switch, probably just for the sake of the cheating scandal, if I could use that, is putting Super Peach on the bottom. However, she still performed well despite everything. And when they made her go back, and she did good. And I think it was more about Poopy's attitude than anything, because when he was in there, he did well. Like, even though he had those first 2 lines.
And I didn't see a problem with that now. How about you guys? Because it's like, he wrote it.
No,
so,
he wrote it.
Why not use a line from that you had before and put it on, whatever you had for that day?
I've heard too many Lil Wayne songs with a little bar or 2 that end up in Ross's song that will end up in J. Cole's songs. It's like everybody uses the same thing. So
but in this case, it was his own.
It was his own, and I think, but it goes back to what we were saying before. The task was to write something new. So the fact that he had those 2 lines, it was like, I heard that before. But they said, "Do you want to keep it?" He said, "Yeah."
Yeah, they let him keep it.
But when he was performing what we saw, what they showed us, he was killing it.
And I also thought it was strategic.
He was killing it.
I thought it was strategic that JD put him in the bottom, because I think he thought he knows that Lil Poopy would take that. The heart, like straight to the heart, and like, I can't be there.
Well, you see what happened to Lyric.
Exactly.
You see what happened.
Exactly.
I feel like maybe, I don't know. Is JD kind of? I'm not gonna say he's hating on Poopy, but I'm saying, is he kind of giving him a little bit more like?
He might be somebody who he's like, I think I really want to work with him.
Yeah, because it seems like he's kind of a bit hard on Poopy a little bit.
I think he's looking at his attitude, and I think because of his attitude, I think he's the reason why he put him in last. They told us to get closer. Get a little closer. I'm like, how did he get it?
So he's not picking on Poopy, is he?
I don't think he's picking on him. I think if anything, it's tough love.
Right.
If anything, it's
Poopy
tough
shot
love.
back with the whole the bald head.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, I want to hear that whole rap.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Pretty soon, but the whole bald head crack was a good one.
All right, so Poopy's number 5, Super Peach number 4. And again, because of the whole lyrics situation, Little Nico was number 3. I'm gonna tell you right now, with Little Nico, I still haven't really seen him, and maybe it's editing, but I haven't really seen him shine yet. Like actually, like take off. And he's the one with the previous deal.
Right.
And he's got talent, but I have him on my top 5 as number 5 because
number 5?
he didn't write anything from what we saw. He didn't write anything to do with the tour. It just seemed like he wrote something completely different. I didn't hear anything about the tour in his music, which was the task.
Right.
Exactly.
Which we still haven't spoken about Miss Mulatto.
Yeah, we're getting to her because she was number 1. So
she went in.
Yeah. Young Lyric was number 2, which I really liked because she was number 5, and I think she had she improved. And then of course Miss Mulatto number 1. I think she killed it.
She killed it. But look,
killed it.
I think
she's from Atlanta. Like she should not let anybody else come in there and rap better about her city. You know what I'm saying? So she had to go hard.
But she wrote a whole song too.
With a chorus. Who's to say that she didn't already have some of that stuff though? Right?
I don't think so.
Who's to say that she didn't have? Because she's from ATL. Why wouldn't she have some of them lines? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can say that about anything. Right. I personally don't think that she did. I think she did have an advantage being from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So her reference points, obviously, she knows it. She's heard these words. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that means she should have been number 1 because if she wasn't, then that would be bad on her.
So I mean, does that discount her number 1?
No, I don't think so because
not at all.
She talks about this all the time, and I love hearing it. She says, "My training means the girl works. She puts in work.
That's right.
So you know she's ready. She's not afraid of anything,
right?
Because she knows that all the hard work she's been putting on since she was 10 when she started rapping. She's 16 now, 6 years. She's been putting in the work, and she deserves it.
I mean, and she's the oldest, so she had a little bit more time to do that. But you're right. She did mention training several times.
Yeah.
She's putting in the work. I agree
Absolutely.
with you.
So that being said, I think we should go ahead and get into predictions.
That's good.
All right, let's do that.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV
predictions. All right, so I'll start on the west side over there. West side.
Yeah.
What are you thinking going forward that you're going to see kind of come to fruition, Jimmy?
I think we were just speaking about it. Just speaking of Lil Nico, he still hasn't shown what exactly why he's there. You know, can kind of say. So I think he is going to have a big episode next week, and I think we're gonna see a little bit more beef between Miss Mulatto and Super Peach. I think that's gonna continue to get that back and forth. I'm number 1. You were number 1. Now what?
Right.
And you don't write your own music. Yeah.
Bars.
Right. So bars. Okay. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I got 2 predictions going forward. Number 1, I think after this controversy with the Super Peach having her lyrics written, I think she's gonna go off and just start going ham on everybody lyrically. I want to see that. That would make for a good show. I want to see her come back strong and just be like, okay, you said I didn't write my lyrics? Well, here we go. Here's my lyrics. I'm just going to murder all of you in the process. You know what I'm saying? So I think she has, at least performing-wise, she's got that potential. She's got that attitude to do that. You know, I'm hoping that she, even though we might not have seen it yet, I'm hoping she has a talent to back that up and just go off on all of them. That's what I want to see going forward. And I'm thinking it might happen. And then my second prediction, we still haven't really seen it yet, but I'm waiting for that parental drama.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's
I
right.
want to see the parents go at it. You know what I mean?
That's definitely coming.
Yes.
That's definitely coming for sure. Nino.
That was definitely my predictions. I'm waiting to see Miss Mulatto's dad, Shane, and Mama Peach get into it. I just feel like that's going to happen. For real. But also, Lil Nico, I think how he's writing right now and how we haven't seen him all the way through yet, something's going to pop and he's going to have his own episode of Shine. Not sure if he's going to, hit that number 1. Not quite sure yet because I haven't seen it. But he's going to shine in one episode. There's going to be an episode like almost about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Miss Mulatto's going to keep it up there, number 1. That's what I think. She's going to keep it up there, number 1. But Poopy's going to go hard trying to come back.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
What you got, Lem?
I think that Lewis is going to get in Poopy's behind.
Yes.
I think for sure. Like
needed.
that last thing he said was he didn't even think he was ready for the next challenge. Like he was like, yo, you need to get it together.
Yeah.
And so I think, that kind of talk that they had, I think that's going to put Poopy and just be like, look, I got to really, really be buckled down, do what I got to do with this, and make it happen. And so I definitely think if he's not number 1, next week he's going to be number 2 just because of that talk. So that's where I'm at with it.
I just had to say I'm a huge fan of Smack URL battle rap. It'd have been sick if JD put the kids against each other, like making bars about each other, give it a more competitive feel. That would be sick.
Exactly, right? We got 6 more episodes.
So
it definitely could happen.
Never
Just saying,
know.
don't rule it out.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show. We want to thank you for tuning in. We want to thank Papa Lewis for joining us.
Shout out 508.
Brockton in the his house, Cape Verde and Cabo Verde. That's how we get down. I've been your host, Lem Gonsalves. You can find me always on social media at The Poet Saint, all day, every day. Nino, where you at, boy?
What's going on, guys? Once again, it's your boy Nino. You can catch me at Nino Llanera on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm much nicer than Nino Brown for sure.
Right.
Where you at, Josh?
Like your boy Lem Gonsalves said, catch me on social media, JJ the Talented.
Hilarious.
Man, it's your man Jimmy V. Once again, big shout out to Papa Lewis for coming through and showing love. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Be Your Own Dad. Continue the conversation. Comment below in this video your thoughts on this episode. We always love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Keep tuning in, keep commenting, and let's get it. See y'all next week.
Y'all see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.